Hello, welcome to the tier list. But this time with Sohei, and I also have to explain some stuff for what is this tier list. This tier list is for people who basically plays Dominion matchmaking, but this time I do something different with teammates. Like in my last tier list, I did one for solo matchmaking. It's totally fine, but this time it's with a teammate, and there's one big reason behind it. It has something to do with the tournament, with the last Dominion tournament, because we have some really interesting things going on right now. But let's start. So, Sohei. You're asking yourself, where is Sohei right now? S tier? Big burst damage? A tier? No, he's straight B tier, in my opinion. He's like A tier is the definition. You can definitely play him, and you do in many situations just fine. But I don't see this with Sohei. He has lower damage. He has low average damage. He is very conditional offense, or his kit only works when you have all soul stacks. That means in Dominion, you have other heroes have like the best feats you can have in Dominion are damage feats, and his only damage feats, like he doesn't have a damage feat, all right. And his best thing that speaks for Sohei is his stalling capabilities. Like when you unlock all souls, I usually don't go for the damage burst. I just go for the self-heal. Level 2 self-heal. This is the only good feat about him, on him. Like in the team, just imagine in the team fight, you farmed all your soul stacks. You try a damage burst, you get interrupted by whatever. By an enemy, by a friendly. Doesn't matter, your soul stacks are gone. If you use the soul stacks just for a self-heal, and you get interrupted, alright? The skill itself just goes on cooldown. And you can use it after 1 or 2 seconds again. Therefore, it's relatively safe. And you get a lot of value. But this is the only thing I give Sohei right now. Like I will do an extra video about him, with all the problems, with the cons, with the pros, you know, but this is just a quick overview. So guys, let's start with Warden. Warden, A tier. When you have teammates that can compensate for Warden's weakness, this is basically dealing with unlock attacks, then you're totally fine. You have really strong unlock heavies, unblockable heavies. You have a really good gank, and your bash is also a strong tool in every situation. Since they patched the hyper armor in the heavy or after a bash, he's a great hero now. But this is what I mean. When you have teammates that can compensate for his weakness, for example, your teammates are playing Blackbriar, Varang and Guard, Afira. If they can deal with unlock attacks and reduce the unlock dodge spam in the team fights, then Warden definitely performs. So, also great support feats, by the way. Like his feats combination, fantastic. Conqueror, still unchanged, straight C tier. D tier. People might say, hey, he's C tier. He's a great staller, okay, I give him that. But his offense is relatively easy to avoid in teamfights. His 1v1 isn't great, since he lost his stamina punish. Sorry, well, you wonder why like I get arrested by my dog. So, I keep talking about, Sandy, what was it again with Conqueror? Yeah, you can easily avoid him in teamfights. Even when you hit his full block, you can still dodge out of it with dodge recoveries. For example, Pirate can do that, Afira can do that, even Zhanhu can do that. So, when he hits his full block with his zone. So it's not optimal, his range is relatively slow, he has no road catcher. You can, competitive players say he's D tier, and I say he's C tier only because of the fact he's a heavy. That means you have heavy perks. You are tougher than most of the heroes in the cast. Therefore, for me, he deserves a C tier. PK! Alright, PK. I mentioned earlier before, we have something very interesting going on in the tournaments. And I show you one table. So, in the last competitive Dominion tournament, alright, we had 5 PK picks and the player won 5 times. That means we have a win rate of 100%. Alright? 100% win rate. What's going on? And I explain you why. Like, no other hero has a win rate of 100%. So, right now, PK is one of the best duelists. And she's super fast. That means she's perfect when it comes down to backcapping. And when you win consistently your duels, alright? Like the enemy team sees, oh no, we get backcapped, send reinforcements. No, send someone to defend the point. And right now the meta is just to pick teamfight heroes, you know? But the chances are not so great when you have to fight with a teamfight hero against a duelist. And you see where the problem starts now. So they see they have, oh no, we can't win a 1v1. Therefore we have to send one more guy to gank the PK. And then that means somewhere else, usually in the mid lane, there are only 2 guys that can defend the mid lane. Alright. And PK trusts 2 guys on her. And the rest of the team can just deal with the mid line, clear it, capture the rest of the team. She's one of the best backcappers in the game. But the only problem with her is it only works on certain maps, on very large maps. So this is just a short explanation, alright? I will do a more detailed one. But believe me, PK right now, in the team, this is what I mean. This tier list is about Dominion matchmaking with teammates, alright? So people you can trust with ganks, team fights, and so on. So, PK A tier. Alright, Lawbringer, welcome. I don't want to explain too much. Ubisoft already admitted it on the last stream. He needs another rework. His base kit doesn't work. Like, he has nothing. The only thing he has are great feats and his health pool. But his regular kit is useless in teamfights. He can't deal with unlock attacks. And that's it. His offense is super one-dimensional. Therefore, he's a very easy target. Ah, come. I say B tier. But in my mind, he goes straight to D tier. But in the end, he has still a better kit than Conqueror. And he's a heavy on top. He's super tough in matchmaking. Of course. Right, Raider! B tier. Solid feat set. Solid move set. But he's only a little bit lackluster when it comes down to apply external pressures. Because his only tool right now is just his unblockable zone. And therefore, like in the team fights, the only way to open up people is just to throw an unblockable and you hope you get the GB. But this is where the problem starts. When you get the GB, usually you get peeled. Alright? Therefore your offense doesn't work so well. But this is a short explanation. In 1v1, he still rules. In 1v1, he's still fine. I have a lot of fun with him in 1v1s. Warlord, A tier. Still performs. But I wish they would also give him small buffs. For example, give him a versatility, especially with his bashes. Right now, you can only bash the person in front of you, and then nothing. You cannot switch to your target. This is the only weakness he has right now. Like, this is very problematic when Warlord needs to do an anti-gank. That means when you bash someone, alright? The guy in front of you and you go for the punish. The second guy can just beat you. Even with revenge. Therefore they can't stall you. Yep. Conqueror D tier? Yeah, guys, I explained it already. You need to be here, alright? I give Conqueror only C tier because of his perks, alright? Otherwise, I give you're correct, D tier, but this is matchmaking. Perks are so powerful right now. Heavy perks are extremely powerful. We all know that, right? So, Berserker. Ooh, Berserker, man. He has fallen. How many Berserkers do you see in one gaming session? And I have to say how it is. He nearly died out. He nearly died out. Today, guys, I played for 2 hours for Honor, alright? And I only saw one Berserker. I only saw one Berserker. And in 1v1, in duels, he's still good though. But he lost his unlock dodge attacks. That means he has no early access to his unblockable. Usually, you throw an unlock dodge attacks, the enemy has to block it when he has no counter to it. Therefore, he's in frame disadvantage for his unblockable. But this doesn't work anymore. Like when you block his dodge attack, he bounces off, and he now Berserker is in frame disadvantage. You see what that means? Berserker has no free, lost a lot of offense potential in 1v1 in teamfights. In before his nerf, he was super oppressive. He suppressed basically the whole team. And then when he saw an opportunity, he let his unblockable fly. That's it. Therefore, I say B tier. Like in 1v1 he still works, in ganks he also still works. But team fights he's not so useful anymore. But still, good. You can still play with him, definitely. Valkyrie! Valkyrie is a very interesting niche pick. I have to give her A tier because just by the fact of this table. Alright? I think, who was playing Valkyrie in the Dominion tournament? I think Normi. Normi or Antonio? No, Antonio was it. And she has a very impressive win rate. Antonian. So, like out of 5 matches, he won 3 matches against one of the best players. And she's a very interesting niche pick. And that's just what I mean. The best feats you can have in Dominion are damage feats. And Valkyrie has plenty of them, man. She has Juggernaut, she has Javelin or Fury, pick one of them, both are good, or Fire Flash. And we know exactly how good Fire Flash is. Even after the nerf. Even after the nerf, guys. And her basic moveset also works, but just in teamfights. Alright? Okay, but this is what I mean. This is just a short explanation. But believe me, Valkyrie in the right hands can absolutely have fun. Alright, Kensei, he said he needs still plenty of he needs a lot of help to make his offense work. Like I said, just a short explanation video. Kensei's external pressure in teamfights is very lackluster. Right now, as Kensei main player in teamfights, you have a relatively passive job. This is to peel for your teammates when they are in trouble or when your enemies are exposed in teamfights. But I, as a Kensei main, I don't go for active roles, for example, Pommel Strike. Because Pommel Strike is so easy to dodge in teamfights. has no forward movement, therefore just external Kensei, dodge to the side, you're out of range of his perma strike. You're fine. But in 1v1 he can work. In teamfights he can also perform, but not on their level. This is why I have to give Kensei B tier. You can't win with him. I know exactly, people in YouTube comments will explain me why Kensei is still A tier or S tier, but no guys, he's B tier. He can perform, I give him that, but most of the times his tools are, how can I explain it? Outdated. I think this is the best word to describe Kensei right now. Shugoki, A tier. Very hard to gank. It doesn't matter what skill level you are. Like in the last tournaments, Shugoki got picked just with the purpose of stalling. It is so incredible to gank, so incredible hard to gank a Shugoki. On top of that, he has Juggernaut available, and in matchmaking he has access to heavy perks, man. In matchmaking he's even harder to gank. Like, he's very hard to read, variable heavy timings, enhanced light attacks, straightforward and good hitbox, and huge health pool. That's it. But the only problem is he's not that great because his peeling is a little bit lackluster and his movement is of course not on par with, I don't know, with a feeder. This is wait, what is his pick rate in the tournament? Let's see. Shugoki got just picked 8 times. And you see, his win rate is not that great. He only got picked because of the fact he's a great staller. So, Orochi, yes, S tier. But good question. Is he Orochi still S tier? And the answer is, I don't know. I really don't know. I think he's still a great hero. He has still all his great feats. This is kunai. No, he has Ki Scream, or Ki Ice Scream, kunai, longbow, nail bomb, or feared self. And you can definitely work with that. So therefore, my opinion, like I already played Orochi even after the nerf. My opinion, he's still very hard to gank. He is he can still perform in 1v1. He's in team fights. He's a big asset. He's great ganks. In my opinion, he's still S tier. He's not triple S tier. Like he was not, like competitive players rated him triple S tier before being absolutely broken. But now, I think his pick rate still stays high. When he's not S tier, alright guys, then I give him very high A tier. That's it. Alright, Nobushi, A tier. But, guys, remember what I said earlier before. This tier list is about Dominion matchmaking with teammates. So, when you play solo, then I give you around, then I have to, yeah, drop Nobushi to be a C tier. But when with a team that knows exactly how to interact with a Nobushi, is good. Great. But in solo matchmaking, oh, you will have a bad time. Like she has a lot of tools to counter some stuff, to punish things. She has also great damage feats. She has arrow strike. She has longbow. She has fire trap. Great damage feats. That's why Nobushi got picked in the last tournament, where she 16 times. Right behind Orochi. Like she can control stuff when she sees someone is just dodging around, you can use undodgeables to your advantage. Her bleed damage stacks still unchanged, and her like usually she takes the role of a punisher. Like when a target is bleeding, you usually take more damage. That makes ganks even deadlier, guys. This is why Nobushi gets picked in Dominion. So guys, Centurion, whoa boy. Remember what I said about PK? This is the same for Centurion. Great duelist, and when you play around his kit for the purpose of backcapping or dueling, he becomes great. Like in the last tournament, I think it was Blitz, he was on backcapping duty and he forced multiple people on him. That gave the team basically the map advantage or the map control. Call it whatever you want. And this is what I mean. Matchmaking, tier list, just about team fights or playing with teams. And right now, I play matchmaking with some friends, and I have a blast with Centurion. Alright? When I go solo matchmaking with Centurion, it looks completely different. Like Centurion has also great damage feats, utility, and the ganks are just nasty. And they, I have to admit it, they just look good. Alright, this is my opinion about Centurion. When you play with friends, Centurion in the right hands, with some tactical knowledge, he performs. So, Shinobi, A tier, I don't have to explain much. Great control hero and mobility hero. His damage is not so great for team fights, but you provide a lot of utility for your team. For example, you can bash people in team fights and you still stay relatively safe. Like after the bash, you can back row. Alright? And when you see someone peeled for you and he misses the attack, you can target switch and then bash the second person. And the best thing, this is even not the best thing about Shinobi. The best thing about Shinobi is the length of his bash. Like you bash someone and then you input a punish. And the animation is extremely long for the enemy that gets punished. So in team fights the chances are very high. You eat at least a light attack. The worst case, you eat a heavy attack. And Shinobi is still safe. It's very hard to attack a Shinobi in teamfights or to land some damage on him. Of course, in the right hands. And also a lot of utility. Shurikens still has access to the shotgun technique. He has access to nail bomb or yeah. This is incredible. Yeah. Gladiator, C tier. C or B tier. He can't provide too many tools in teamfights. The only thing he provides is just bashes. Alright? And toe steps. But toe steps are very unsafe in teamfights. They are a decent ganking tool, but for ganking you need first to win teamfights. If you can't win teamfights, I have to rate. This is just the first step to the match. Alright. But I have to say how it is. He also has great has nice access to damage feats. Like Haymaker. Alright. And Trident. Very nice. And Fear itself. This is why I give him B tier. Like he can perform, but only in the right hands. Glad is meant for 1v1, exactly. Glad is meant for 1v1 and for ganking. But he's not the same like Centurion or PK. He's not overwhelmingly good like PK or like PK or Centurion. Like if they give Centurion Gladiator something, he can be a great backcapper. Alright. But guys, maybe at one point in For Honor's history I will do more detailed videos. Like I think this tier list video, it's not enough to explain why PK is good. Like, she has some really interesting, unique ganks, interaction. Also same with Centurion. But this is just an overview. Alright? Highlander! Guys, I have a very difficult relationship with Highlander. Alright? But I saw people really perform with him. And in matchmaking, not in tournaments. Okay? In tournaments I would rate him B. But in matchmaking, I give him A. Because of heavy perks. Easy. I give him he has heavy perks. When your teammates know how to do Highlander ganks, he becomes strong. He's also very hard to deal with in team fights. He has crushing counters. He has kicks on grabs. And they have huge forward movement right now. And also infinite unblockables. Alright? So this is why my heart says Highlander's A tier. Like, you can win 1v1s with him against all matchups. Like, I don't think he has a very bad matchup. You can definitely win teamfights with him. And he can also anti-gank because he's a very tough hero. B for Highlander, yeah. This is what I try to explain. Like, this is just for matchmaking. Perks. Perks, guys. Perks. In tournaments, I would give him B, but matchmaking. Pew! Hey. Like, people have no idea how incredible heavy perks are, man. You get flat 10%. Flat 10% damage reduction on objective points. For example, when you play Highlander. No, Lawbringer, for example. 140 health. You sit on the point. You get 10% damage reduction. In theory, you have a health pool of 154. Alright? 154 health. An assassin or like a hero, an enemy hero has to deal 154 damage to take you down. Just because of one perk. And I didn't even calculate the last stand in it. Alright? With last stand it's even more, guys. This is why I say perks also are a very huge factor right now. Shamsel, I don't want to explain much. Terrible hitbox, only works for 1v1s. Gank is also relatively weak and you know exactly what to do. I give Shamsel straight D tier. Like, if Ubisoft wants to fix her, please, the first thing you can do is to update her hitbox. The hitbox are inconsistent, it looks awkward, and you are not able to suppress people in ganks. Like, when you're forced to do an anti-gank as Shamsel, you have a terrible time. Easy, right? Easy decision. Not now people, whoa, what about her? Like, PK provides more, like, her PK's peel is insane. Insanely good. But Shamsel is very one-dimensional when it comes down to team fights. The only thing she can do is a bash. Alright? That's it. Always a bash. Always a bash. In very rare cases it's unblockable. Like when PK gets... Alright, when PK gets bleed on you, by whatever means, or by whatever, you get crazy unblockables. So, Aramusha. The same thing here. Competitive players give him B tier. Alright, but only because of heavy perks. I give him A tier. He's super tough to gank. When the Aramusha knows exactly what to do. Like, even by health, he's very hard to gank. And his his kit in 1v1 works. Of course with some flaws, but I have a lot of fun with Aramusha. That's for sure. Like, you only have trouble against Stamina Punisher. That's exactly the problem of Aramusha. All his offense costs a lot of stamina. You have to throw the heavy. You go for ring the bell. Alright? You pay stamina twice. Just for 12 damage. Maybe 11 damage when you have to fight someone with heavy perks. And then, in the worst case is, you go for a heavy. Cancel your heavy. You go for the GB. You get the GB. You throw a heavy. Have you counted with me? You pay stamina 4 times. Just for a counter reach. Then there are people say, yo, you can go for soft fence. Yeah, soft fence are just 12 damage. This is what I mean. He works. His 1v1 works. In team fights, he has a... I don't know. It's very hard to explain Aramusha's job in the team fight. His peel is not great. For me, he's like an anchor hero. Like, you're in the middle of multiple people, and then you can sword blockade people. Or when you see people are kind of isolated, you can punish them with ring the bell, right? Because with ring the bell, after ring the bell, you can immediately go for sword blockade. But of course, sword blockade has a big weakness. It can't block unblockables. Easy, right? This is why Aramusha deserves, in my opinion, B tier by his kit. Alright? But because of feats, Juggernaut, healing, more healing, Stalwart Banner, heavy perks, he's very, I say, low A tier. Alright, Tiandi! Tiandi! I don't know, guys. I have very complicated feelings towards Tiandi. I think in duels he absolutely performs. Alright. Or he can perform. But in team fights, the only thing you can do is just peel with your zone, your undodgeable lights, and your best external pressure is your dragon kick. Alright. But the problem with the dragon kick is Tiandi itself cannot really go for the punish. It is very unlikely you get the actual punch. You see what the problem is? His main pressure tool doesn't work in real and big team fights. But when you can pull it off, of course, two heavies. But that's actually not his job. It's very hard to explain where Tiandi right now is. Like, he has great mobility. He's very hard to catch in team fights. Therefore, but he has no heavy perks. Yeah, I stay a bit here. Like, why pick Tiandi when you can have these guys? Why pick Tiandi when you can have Shinobi, guys? I'm asking you guys. Why should I pick Tiandi when I can have Shinobi? Okay, and he has no heavy perks. Yeah. Alright, I explained why Tiandi deserves B tier. I think the only way to fix that is, like, I hate Ubisoft's approach. We have multiple attack zones. Who has this? Tiandi, Centurion, Kensei, Nobushi. Alright, they have multiple attack zones. And what is the purpose of letting it fly, guys? What is the purpose of this? Like, I wish it would be like Aramusha. Like, also Tiandi zone, very expensive. Kensei zone, super expensive. You can only perform 2 zone attacks. And I wish Ubisoft do it like, give everyone with multiple zone attacks the Aramusha treatment. You know what that means? The second attack, or the third attack, whatever, is unblockable. So, this would be just one step to help heroes like Tiandi. I think Tiandi is a support character. Yeah, his heal is very awkward. You would sacrifice a shit ton of health. The best thing you can provide to your team is Doombender. And Doombender is great. This is why he is in B tier. He can still perform, but it's not straightforward. JJ, yes, A tier. I don't have to explain why. Heavy. His general moveset works in all situations. You can win 1v1s with him. You can do team fights with him. His gank is also very good, very nice. He's a very strong punisher, especially when you play his first feat. What is it called again? Deadly. When you land your first attack, the second attack gets automatically stronger. That means very juicy gank punishes. Yeah. Do I have to explain JJ more? Great mobility in team fights, thanks to his dodge attack. Sifu stance, also very nice to use in team fights. Like, you can hit multiple people, you can dodge one move. It's great, and you can target swap it. Like, you can Sifu the guy in front of you, target swap somewhere else. Whatever you need in that fight right now. Like, you have to switch the hitbox to hit even more people. Dude. Nuxia! Oh, guys. Nuxia, man. Nuxia. I have to say how it is. Why even bother playing Nuxia? Okay, guys. Why even bother playing Nuxia when you can have Orochi or PK or who else? Shinobi, right? She has her gank is her gank only works when you're totally alone. All right. The traps also don't work in team fights. You get peeled. When you see a Nuxia actually throws a heavy towards your mate, just block it. If you get trapped, you can be 100% sure your teammate will peel for you. Most of the times, of course. And her gank is also not so great. The best thing about Nuxia is a 1v1. It's very hard. Very hard to deal with. And her call drops. That's it. That's it, guys. That's it. This is why she deserves C tier. She has some purposes. Very niche. But you cannot make her work in teamfights, man. Holy shit. And ganks are also very awkward with her. Wasn't Orochi nerfed? Orochi is still nerfed. Orochi got nerfed, guys. But he still is good. He's good. He's still good. He's still good. I mean, oh my god. D tier? Yeah, she needs buff. I think the best thing Ubisoft can do for her is to improve her anti-gank. She can, in my opinion, be on A tier when she gets the same job like PK, a stalling job. For example, I explained here in tournaments, PK has a 100% win rate by doing one specific job, that is backcapping. And I cannot imagine better backcapping tools like cold drops, guys. Or duels. Or what is her first feat called again? Where she gets increased damage when she only faces one person. It doesn't matter. Like, when she becomes that hard to deal with in 1v1s that you need to gank her, then she becomes good again. Alright, but I don't see that yet. I don't see that yet. This is why she deserves C tier. Alright. I'm also okay when people give her B tier, but right now, guys, this is also my perception of Nuxia. Every time when I see a Nuxia in the enemy team or my team, she underperforms. This is for a good reason. Also, one thing, wait, have I mentioned it already? Like, when she performs a trap, alright, in revenge state, it shouldn't be interruptible at all. And there are also some suggestions how to buff her. Like, when you trap someone, you should always have the option to dodge out of it as a bait, right? But to explain that, I need to do an extra video. Alright, guys. Shaolin! A tier! Strong A tier. Also got picked very often in tournaments, right? Shaolin, 14 times, yes. I think Shaolin is one of the heroes. I also want to do a video about it. The heroes that are nearly perfect, or maybe are perfect. For me, Shaolin is a perfect hero right now. They nerfed his healing field, that was absolutely needed. It was too much heal for the team. And his kit absolutely works in 1v1. He has two his external pressure tool is very interesting and effective. He's not built around unblockables. He's built around bashes and undodgeables, and that works. And his unlocks are very nice. His hitbox, very decent, very nice feats. I'm a Shaolin fanboy. But this should be enough for a short explanation, alright? So Blackbriar, also A tier. Sadly, mobility is also very important, and exactly, Blackbriar got just picked 4 times in the last tournament, and he won only 1 match. Hard, right? Unbelievable, but that's how it is. Because mobility is extremely important in teamfights. Like, if you are misplaced, if people just outspace you, like, it is very easy to outspace a Blackbriar. Alright? In a very high level match. In a high level W or match, whatever. But in regular matchmaking, he still totally performs. You have great support tools. You have your level 1 shield. He has access to Doom Banner. He has Oathbreaker. Even if you fuck up a gank, you can still delete the shield and kill that guy. He has Umbra Shelter that that makes your team basically invulnerable in teamfights for 10 seconds maybe. Still a very good pick, but the only weakness Blackbriar has is mobility and peel. Alright. So, Jormungandr, C tier. I don't want to explain that much. Very selfish hero. Very, very selfish hero. All his feats just benefits him. Level 1 benefits him, level 2 benefits him. His hammer, alright. It's not such a great tool, but like, it's just, how much damage is it? 25, and puts your teammate or the target out of stamina. In theory, it sounds amazing, but practically in teamfights, it's terrible. It's not that great. Alright. And on top of that, it has, weirdly, one of the biggest hitboxes in the game. I witnessed too many situations where Yom threw his hammer. Alright. What was he doing? He actually hit his teammate. And the teammate is, of course, what is he doing? He spammed thanks in the quick chat. Thanks. Thanks for putting me out of stamina, friend. Yom clutched it for you, yes. And also, his gank only works when the victim is totally alone. Alright? His finisher unblockables has lower damage because of the fact that it's a war splat move. You see what I mean, man? Like you cannot pull, like even when you land an unblockable, the damage is not great. Like you can, it's also very unlikely you can pull off a hammer slam. So a very selfish hero, in my opinion. You can absolutely oppress people in 1v1s, but this only works when you're isolated. Alright? So only, okay, decent for 1v1s and for ganks. But not so for teamfights. And even his gank is not that great, guys. Feeds a shit ton of revenge. So guys, next hero, Hitokiri, got picked multiple times in tournaments. But this is also what I mean, guys, how important perks are. Like I see every time, even one of the lower skilled players can perform very well in matchmaking to minion because of the fact of heavy perks. And you see, got picked 12 times, but only won 5 matches? What? So low? Yeah, it is because of mobility, guys. And he's not that tanky in competitive matches because they have no access to perks. You see what perks means, man. Like in regular matchmaking, he absolutely can out-tank, out-trade everyone. Boom. High A tier. Bunga bung. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he literally needs just to throw some random timed heavies and the enemy is automatically in trouble. Even in teamfights, it's very hard to control Hitokiri. Like you can go for the interrupt or you can try to peel against him. But when he's aware of that, he can just switch the target or hit you with some unlocks. Doesn't really matter to him. He can take the damage. So, high A tier. But you see, when you take the perks away, heroes perform differently. Zhanhu! Bagoon! A tier, straight A tier. I think also one of the few heroes that are nearly perfect. He has only access to damage feats, guys. Kunai. Bagoon. The second, the Kilin trap. Longbow. And you can go for, like, I think all level 4 options are viable. You can go for the last laugh. Last laugh. Very nice. And I don't know how the last how his ultimate is called. I call it orbital bombardment, okay? And you can even go for regenerate. For example, it makes sense when you play breach. This kit in general works. Nearly perfect hero, but I think to make him work, you have to understand how how can I say it? He's not so straightforward to play in my opinion. Like he has a great job in teamfights. He can control people with his zone attack. Like he can peel across the teamfight. One guy over there is in trouble. Zone attack. You suppress basically everyone in the teamfight. And then you can go for the unblockables. And unblockables are they deal a lot of damage. And even if you whiff, alright? With whiff, I mean the enemy dodges away in teamfights. You also have a dodge recovery. That means you can do extra moves. You're not vulnerable. For example, like Kensei. You committed that unblockable. Everyone can punish you now. Look at B tier. I'll upload this on YouTube. You can watch this later. I'm I don't want to explain every time. Like, this is exactly what I see last time. Like, oh, Shamsul is D tier? Well, I don't understand. I don't understand. Berserker is B tier, but he performs so well in duels. Yeah, but listen to the explanation, guys. And I say, numbers never lie, guys. Numbers, they never lie. Alright? Numbers will never lie to you. And you see how often Berserker got picked in the last Dominion tournament. 0. 0 times. And you can see that also in our matchmaking. Like I said, I played 2 or 3 hours and I only saw 1 Berserker in the freaking match. Bonga! A tier. I also say nearly perfect, but I wish Ubisoft would also. For fuck's sake, Ubisoft, do this review on all heroes, please. On all heroes, without exceptions. Update the hitbox of all attacks, including, guess what, light attacks. They updated, no, they buffed the heavy hitbox multiple times on Warden, but never ever touched. They never touched the light attacks. But if they touch the light attacks on Warmonger, I say, perfect hero. Alright, guys. Like, she has a very good tool to deal to perform in teamfights. This is her level 1. To instant isolate people in teamfights. In the best case, you damage everyone. Alright? Damage everyone. But even in the worst case, you isolate someone for an easy gank. Your dual capabilities are very nice. She's basically a Warden. Without the stamina punish, of course. Or with a great stamina punish. In team fights, you can help people with your unblockable dodge attacks that deal 24 damage. Alright? And even when you see, okay, she's a very strong wearing a guard anti-hero. Like, when I see someone spams wearing a guard picks, then I say, yeah, I'm tired with you, man. Every time when you throw, like, literally, you can punish her on every move. She throws a wearing guard, throws the dodge attack, you throw a dodge attack. Wearing a guard throws unblockable, you throw, guess what, I throw another dodge attack. you get the idea. But the only problem is, like, she's not a real one, since her forward bash, the forward movement is not that great. She's more like a passive hero in teamfights, but a great one. You can punish people in a very efficient way. Like 24 damage on a dodge attack, yo, why not, dude? That's a strong punish. Gryphon! Holy cow, dude. Gryphon is, I say, very high tier. People are asking me, why is Gryphon so good? And I say, yo, utility, guys, and teamfights. And this is exactly what Gryphon provides, man. This is exactly what Gryphon provides. Hitbox, like, if you get attacked or if you eat a Gryphon finisher, this is a lot of damage. And they have a huge hitbox, they have a lot of damage and hyper armor, alright? And they're relatively easy to access. And there's also a good reason to let the let the heavy finisher fly. Every time when you go for a forward dodge light, this is enhanced and it leads immediately into your finisher. That means the enemy needs to do a read. Is it a kick? Alright, if it's a kick, I have to dodge. But when I dodge, I'm vulnerable to one move. This is the heavy finisher. This is why you see a lot of Gryphon doing heavy finishers in teamfights. And with good reason. You cannot peel for your friend because it has hyper armor. And you can see that. I can prove that easily. I can prove that easily that Gryphon deserves A tier by this shot. Gryphon got picked 60 times. Alright? And Gryphon won 10 matches. Like, he's an above average win rate. Because of the sheer amount of heals. And even the heals deal damage. Alright? Gryphon deserves A tier. And also on top of that, people underestimate him in duels. And you should never underestimate a Gryphon in duels. So, easy explanation. Team fight capabilities, absolutely great. Capable duelist. And his gang, his damage is also great. This is what I mean. Gryphon is just a better Kensei or Lawbringer in the past. Like, Lawbringer needs to do on his neutral heavies to normalize his damage. And I think this game design is absolutely crap on neutral heavies. Should never do that. If you want to create a hero with high damage. But Gryphon don't need that. He can just throw 3 heavies and they all deal a lot of damage. Yeah. So, this is why Gryphon deserves high A tier. So, Kyoshin! Low A tier. Or high A tier? Or mid A tier? Okay, it doesn't matter. Alright guys. Kyoshin has a lot of utility. His ganks are very nice, but you need to be alone for the gang to pull off. But in team fights, you have access to arrow strike. And your bleed damage absolutely hurt people, man. And you have a cool level 4 that is very hard to react to in teamfights. But you need to be proficient with that hero. Like, I saw way too many Kyoshin that goes for poser moves. Like in gangs, they go for Fujin Force for whatever reason. They don't know how Kyoshin gang works. It is tricky. But like I said, this tier list is just about matchmaking with friends. And if people know how to interact with Kyoshin, he's super fun. And he's relatively hard to crack in teamfights, man. Thanks to his full block. And on top of that, his finishers are all undodgeables. This is a great tool in teamfights. Like, people don't know how great undodgeables are in teamfights. Unblockables are good, but undodgeables are underrated, guys. So, this is why I give Kyoshin an A tier. Pirate S tier. What a surprise. What a surprise, guys. He is basically Orochi on his peak. Alright? He has still his unlock dodge attacks, recovery cancels. He can suppress people with his dodge attacks. And on top of that, every time when you let an undodgeable dodge attack fly, people have to do an extra read. With that I mean the pistol blast. You whiff your dodge attack on purpose, then you can grab a person. Alright? Even if you whiff, you grab, you can go into another dodge attack. And you can punish the guy maybe when he goes for a dodge attack. You can go for every time. He has also, Pirate has also great damage feats. He has his level 1 for 10 damage and for a defense debuff. He has his what is it called again? His grenade. People also underestimate the crate, me inclusive. But when you throw that thing in a big team fight, you get at least one person, to be honest. Like you get at least one person. And this is actually a lot of value for a relatively no-brainer feat. And his level 3 is called Trick Shot, and it deals 10 initial damage and 40 bleed damage, and it can hit up to 4 people. That means you can have in theory a total an amount of 200 damage, right, with one feat. And Gunpowder Surprise is game changer. When you land one Gunpowder Surprise and there's no counter available, for example a Phalanx or Umbra Shelter, or maybe a Starboard Banner, even a Starboard Banner, your team is going to lose. Because people have to figure out how to punish people on Gunpowder Surprise, but most of the times when you land Gunpowder Surprise, you can go for dodge attack into heavy finisher. This is what I do usually on Pirate. Like I see I land my Gunpowder Surprise and he flies towards me, to the right or to the left, doesn't matter. I get a dodge attack into unblockable. This is a lot of damage. You can easily isolate people with that. The feat itself deals how much damage? 40 damage? 30 damage? But a very nice amount of damage, that's for sure. He's very hard to punish in team fights. He has one of the most broken gangs in the game. I give him now the throne of the most powerful team fighter now. Also, Magi. I saw people still performing very well with him, and I think he still has it, man. He still has it. But of course, with the rise of new heroes, like Magi was at one point ultra broken, but with more heroes on the table, for example, when was Magi broken? Yeah, basically before Varangian Guard came out, and Ephira or Ocelotl. It's funny, man. But right now, he's a very nice hero. I still enjoy to play him. His hitbox is great. You can stall with him. You can control other people with your hitbox. He also has access to nice feats. Yep. 8 tier. That's for sure. And this is what I mean. You perform very high in team fights. In duels, you shouldn't underestimate Magi in duels. And also very nice ganks. Ephira! They nerfed the damage of her, but still she has a dodge recovery. S tier. It is so hard. Without the right tools, it is so hard to land some damage on Ephira. If she knows exactly what she is doing, man. Her ganks are absolutely nasty. Like she has she has at least 3 damage feats. They are all great. In 1v1, like if you're in trouble, you can pop them. Instant profit, man. In ganks, you can use it. Yeah, you can use the feats also as ganking tools. For example, oh yeah, here's 1 HP left. I can use it on block stun. There's nothing you can do against that. And they're also very incredible hard to react to. And have I mentioned how much utility she has? She has a bash, a faintable bash. She has dodge recovery. She has crushing counter. She has undodgeables. She has a good hitbox unblockable. You see how many tools she brings on the team fight, man. This is why she deserves straight A tier. No doubt, man. Also, guys, Fun fact about Afira. In the tournament, she was one of the most banned heroes. This says a lot. This says a lot, guys. Have I also mentioned her displacement tool? Also Lotl. Very high A tier. His 1v1 is incredible. It's very hard to read him. He has high damage, hyper armor, zone attacks. Like you don't... It's very hard to peel against him without a bash or an unblockable. Like if you peel him with some neutral moves, you might eat his super high damage, heavy or zone, whatever. And he brings also a very nice zone, unblockable to the team fight. He is unreactable light attacks, aka 400 millisecond attacks. His gank is also very nice. His feats are also very cool. 80. He has a bash, unblockables, some dodge recoveries. You can chain always into your... Can you always chain into your unblockable super armor, hyper armor move? I'm not 100% sure, but believe me guys, also Lotl in the right hands is very strong. I think he was also a competitive pick, right? Yeah, he got picked 11 times actually. Crazy. But he only won 5 matches. But still, very strong pick in the eyes of competitive players. And for a good reason. Boo! Varangian God, boys! Varangian God, boys! Varangian God, boys! Okay, I give you a short explanation why Varangian God is one of the most banned heroes in For Honor's history. Alright? S tier, no doubt. She has... With her feats she's ultra tanky. Every time when you land a superior block or full block, you gain a damage resistance of 50%. And this is where the real disaster begins in teamfights. She can, at this point, throw unblockables non-stop. Even when you parry it or punish it, she doesn't care about the damage. Damage reduction of 50%, boys. And even when people dodge her unblockables, it's really hard to peel against her because of the fact she has the full block. And you see, that is some kind of loop, man, in teamfights. You throw an unblockable, people are throwing dodge attacks at you, you block it, you get damage resistance, you can go even crazier, you can go even more aggressive in teamfights. This is some kind of loop in teamfights. You have Starboard Banner that is uninterruptible. And she has enhanced lights. She has crushing count, one of the best crushing counters in the game. You can throw one crushing counter. Oh, okay, I whiffed that one. I throw another crushing counter. She has 2 on all her lights. She has crushing counter properties, man. And guess what? That's not all. That's nothing. She has even on her dodge attacks crushing counter. Oh, you see it? It's so easy to activate your level 2, your damage resistance. And even when you land, every time when you land superior block, you also heal your team in teamfights. Incredible, right? She's incredible hard to deal with in ganks. Like when you have to anti-gank a Varangian guard plus his mate, nearly impossible. Like every time when you throw at her, she can full block that. And if that happens, you're screwed, man. She gets her damage resistance, she gets herself a heavy attack on her on you, and of course the team fight on the teammate. Like she can prolong that stagger for such a long time. Oh boy, Waranging God. Also, this is why the reason why she is banned most of the times in tournaments. Incredibly hard to deal in all situations. In 1v1, she's super oppressive because she has just enhanced lights. You don't want to trigger her damage resistance. You have to deal with unblockables non-stop. She has a bash. Oh boy, she has very decent damage. When she lands her unblockable, she pins you actually, and that leads into another read you have to do. Is she going to headbutt you? Is she going to GB you? Ay. You see, it is very easy to explain, but Varangian God right now is S tier. I say even when I have to rank them, it has to be something like that. Maybe Aphira in front of Pirate, but this is basically it. Pirate on the top of the food chain. Aphira second. But I think after her damage nerf on her feats, she's something like that. Yeah, I think I'm pretty... Yeah, I think that's kind of okay now. Like, in the past, it was fucking Orochi who was on the top of the food chain because he has the pirate treatment. He can suppress everyone forward. He can control the whole team fight with his heavies. Like, he had huge hitbox and forward movement on his heavies and unblockables. Therefore, he could control everyone and then land a decisive blow when he needs it. You know? Like, I can do dodge attacks. Alright. Then my teammates actually open up someone and then I can just throw a heavy attack at the target. And there's nothing the enemy can do. But since Orochi got nerfed, I think he's still very good. Like, when people disagree, then he's at least A tier. So guys, I hope this will help you. This is my tier list for the actual season. And Sohei, right now, he underperforms. But I will do an extra video about it with all his problems and his pros, of course. Even if putting Zen in same bracket as matchup Warmonger Highlander Hitokiri is insane, Lemon. Now, this is why you have to check this table, man. This is the competitive pick rates of last tournament. And you have to play heroes in a specific way to make them work. And have you ever fought against a super high level Centurion duelist with a team fighter? I say you will have a bad time when you have to fight without your perks with a JJ against a Centurion. Where's he? You will have a bad time, man, in a duel. Okay, guys. That's it. Like I said, I cannot explain it more. It is a tier list for people who plays matchmaking with friends or teammates. I can also do one with just solo matchmaking, because people don't see the dynamic. Why is Shamsel D tier? Why is PK now so good? Like, if you play around backcaps and with team communications, then you can do it, absolutely. Okay, guys. I hope you're happy. I'm also happy. Oh, that's a long video, guys. So, have a good one. Something else to say. Bye-bye.